Alright, hey everyone. I just wanted to kind of give a verbal description of some of the responses I had to these two books. I figured that might be easier, but you can check out the notes if you want the faster version. So first I will kind of talk about the Rutherford B book. I really loved this book. I loved all of the poetic style. I loved the wit and just the way that they rhymed and they flowed, and I'm not a big history person, but I really, really enjoyed learning about the presidents in that format. And so that they did a great job of having like an overarching view of historical events rather than a timeline. It helped me to kind of see history flowing from one presidency to the next and just give that like overarching, the themes, the events, and the timeline there. I also really appreciated that they presented the presidents as real people. They did not sugarcoat things, and if there was controversies, they presented that. They presented different sides of different things, and they just kind of put their personalities in there, either with the illustrations or with the words or something like that. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed this book. I also appreciated that they had the section in the back for the biographies. So there are 4 copies of this available through the Lancaster Public Library. There's 4 copies and only 3 of them are available. There were 3 reviews on our site. All of them were really positive. They focused on the historical facts, the presentation, the illustrations, and a lot on the literary style as well. Just the way that they presented that. Everything was really positive, and I agreed with the reviews that were on CLCD. So that was kind of cool to see what I enjoyed match that, but I was a little bit shocked to see that there was only 4 copies of this book, although it is, it's not that new, but so then as far as the next president, so this one also got really good reviews. For the most part, there's only 2 of them on CLCD, and it focused a lot on positive things. The first one especially just kind of focused on the message to the next generation, which I agree, that was pretty cool. The second one, the Kirkus Review, focused on facts, inclusion, but there was some, he was like, I don't know how clear this is, in an illustration, especially the one where Hillary Clinton is presented in one of the frames, but she has not been elected president. So there were 9 copies of this at the Lancaster Public Library, 7 of which were available. I personally did not enjoy this book as much. I think the overall message is really good. I thought it was cool to think about how not presidencies overlapping, but the presidents' lives overlapping. I don't know why I've never thought of that, but just the concept of there's 10 presidents alive right now blew my mind. So that was really cool, and I loved the ending where they talked about, who knows who will be the next president? What are they doing right now? Who might they be? They did a good job of also making presidents relatable by talking about their childhood and the jobs before. But I truthfully got very confused through this book. I think I wanted it to be read kind of sequentially, and maybe that's just because I had read the other one first. But it was a little bit confusing for me to jump around from different dates, or it seemed kind of arbitrary, which dates they pulled out or which presidents they were talking about at some points, or even multiple people were mentioned multiple times, and that kind of, I felt myself wanting to map out a timeline of when all of these things were concurring. So that was maybe a little bit confusing. I also thought the snapshots in the middle about pets and then the one about Theodore Roosevelt were really random, kind of cool to know, but just not flowing in the book. So I personally did not love this book as much, even though I really liked the message at the end, but my review does not necessarily match the reviews of other people. So lastly, I wanted to talk about some ways to use this. I thought, obviously, with President's Day coming up, this would be really awesome if you teach one of those subject areas or teach younger kiddos. I thought the 30-second book talk would be a good one. Maybe even kids could read both or one and just kind of share what they loved with other people. The art trading cards idea for my textbook, I loved thinking about for the next president, just that kids could kind of depict the main idea or their thoughts or emotions, or even about what they would want to do as president or something like that through an artistic vantage point. Graffiti boards, I know, is really popular, but I thought what a good way to kind of start off and think about what we know about presidency and specific presidents in general, and then go back through after we read and see how much more we learned. And then the one idea I had to use with the Rutherford B book was the one observation, one connection, one question, and one surprise, because I think there's a lot of really, really good information in there and a lot that I didn't know, or things that kids could relate to. So I thought that would be a really powerful one to use for that. So thanks for listening to all of the minutes of this presentation. I definitely enjoyed these books more than some other ones that we have read, so it was kind of cool to see how my responses met with reviews and how this could be used.